Good evening and welcome to Sunset News. I'm Aina Koyo, bringing you news, community stories, weather, economic news, and so much more on this Thursday evening in the news tonight. The Motor Vehicle Accident Fund has recorded 970 crashes, resulting in 147 fatalities and 1,789 injuries from the 1st of January to the 10th of May 2024. The statistics indicated that the Commerce region recorded the highest number of accidents, accounting for 34% of all recorded accidents, followed by Erongo region with 14% and the Oshana region with 10%. In Wentworth alone, year to date, statistics indicate that there were 334 crashes, 489 injuries, and 12 fatalities recorded. Additionally, they show that the Commerce region had the highest number of injuries at 28%, followed by Erongo with 14% and Ochondo Njuba with 10%. Regarding fatalities, the Oshana recorded the highest number, accounting for 14%, followed by Ochondo Njuba with 12%, and Erongo and Kavango East each recording 16 fatalities, which accounts for 11%. Between 2019 and 2022, the MVA commissioned research into the causes of road accidents and found that 72% of them are attributed to human contributing factors such as speeding, reckless driving, and driving under the influence. Meanwhile, 25% are related to road and environmental causes, and only 3% are attributed to vehicle-related factors. This indicates that human behavior is the primary factor contributing to road accidents in Namibia, including speeding, inconsiderate driving and drunk driving, overtaking at blind spots, overloading, fatigue, and more, says Rosalia Martens Haufiku, the Chief Executive Officer of the MVA Fund. Moreover, it suggests that by enhancing road user behavior, the number of road accidents in the country could significantly be reduced, she said. Moving over to our next story, Mine Workers Union of Namibia new acting President Poko Matthew Mberuwana earlier today elaborated on the current leadership crisis at the powerful mining union after former President Ishmael Kasuto and former Vice President Desley Somseb were removed from their position on the 28th of April and suspended from the union on the 11th of May. According to Mberuwana, Kasuto and Somseb thereafter orchestrated arresting controls of the Namit Trust, through which Mine Workers Union of Namibia owns the multi-million-dollar Namik Holdings, and authorized a withdrawal of 250,000 Namibian dollars from the trust. Kasuto and Somseb are challenging their expulsion in court. The case may delay holding of an extraordinary Congress to elect new leadership for the union, Mberuwana explained. Have a look.
Thank you very much. My name is Popoki Matthew Mberuwana, the acting president of Mine Workers Union. We had our special meeting that we held in Chume on the 28th morning in Chume, and due to some lack of leadership in our former president, Comrade Ishmael Kasuto, and his vice, Comrade Desley Somseb, there was a motion table, a vote of no confidence. There was a meeting called by the comrades on the 28th after their removal, the trust meeting, which is the trust that was found by Mine Workers Union. To say there must be a 250,000 withdrawn from the trust account to be transferred to Murorwa and what was the courts law firm for any trust litigation. However, up to this today, there is no any litigation against the trust. Everything is smooth. The leadership are still trying to establish as to whether the 250 are still in the account of the lawyer or probably it was used for something else. The president was removed because of his unethical leadership, causing division. The president have moved around regions, starting with Northern region, where he was advocating for my removal myself. The president have, while there's a process that was agreed to say the forensic audit must be conducted and such a report must be availed, and anything that is being detected through that process must be held accountable. The president went to take some leaders' personal account and transaction to that effect and put them into media just to make sure that he tarnished the reputation and the image of others. As the meeting of the 11 have resolved to say the comrade president and the former president and the vice president membership must be suspended, because we have realized that with the dealing of the trust, the comrade vice president was given the responsibility to make sure that everyone is registered, but everyone was not registered, and he didn't even report back to the trust, neither to NEC to say, I am having this challenge with those that are not previously registered. The president went to sign the amended deed of trust, knowing that the number of the trustee are not as per the deed of trust. And there was transaction that went off the account while the comrade were removed, and they know that they are not trustees.
The city of Windhoek officially changed 17 street names in the capital today at an official ceremony at the municipality's hall in the city center. Among others, Windhoek Mayor Queen Kamati, Commerce Governor Laura McLeod Kachura, Urban and Rural Development Minister Erastus Uthoni, and Windhoek Councillor Job Amupanda will address the gathering. Among the most famous streets names, Johan Albert Street, which leads from the Namibia University of Science and Technology through Windhoek West and Windhoek North, is being renamed Hoab Dr. Justus Garweb Street. Jordan Street in Pioneers Park will now be named after Bishop Bonifatus Haushiku. Henny Lubsha Street in Olympia will henceforth be known as the Carol Njoba Street. In the Dolam neighborhood, Sin Street will be renamed Ulrich Paulino Street, while Dem Beach Street in Koreakhab's Extension 5 will be known as the John Kambungula Street. In Elisenheim, a street that until now lacked its own name will be designated as Bishop Hendrik Frederick Street. Enias Peter Nanyemba Street in Ausblig is being renamed to avoid confusion with Windhoek's other Peter Nanyemba Street and will in future be known as the Jason Matumbulwa Street. Also in Ausblig, one of the new streets will be Christian Fanuel Kadongwedi Street. Another new street, in Academia will be named after Nicodemus Kavikunwa, while a series of new streets in Rocky Crest Extension 4 will also get new names. Moving over to our next story. The Namibia Institute of Pathology has announced the successful conclusion and signing of collective wage agreement for the 2024-2025 financial year. The agreement finalized at the Namibia Public Workers Union marks a significant milestone for NIP and its workforce. NIP, in a press release, said that the agreement signifies its ongoing commitment to foster fostering a positive and collaborative relationship with its employees, recognizing their valuable contribution to its mandate of providing high-quality medical laboratory services to the community to save lives. By ensuring fair and competitive compensation, we aim to uphold a supportive and rewarding work environment that empowers our team members to deliver exceptional care and services to our patients. We extend our sincere gratitude to the leadership of NIPWU for their partnership and constructive engagements throughout the negotiation process. The dedication to representing the interests of our employees have been instrumental in reaching this mutually beneficial agreement that aligns with our shared values of fairness, respect, and excellence, NIP said. As we move forward into the new financial year, NIP remains dedicated to upholding the highest standards of quality, integrity, and innovation in our operations. We are confident that this collective wage agreement will further strengthen our team and enable us to continue delivering outstanding healthcare services to the communities we serve. NIP added. NIP is the national and biggest provider of medical laboratory services dedicated to delivering accurate and timely diagnostic testing to healthcare providers and patients. With a commitment to quality, innovation, and patient care, we strive to make a positive impact on the health and well-being of our community. After the break, we return with economic news. Please stay with us.
Introducing 061 Express, brought to you by Synergy in proud partnership with Windhoek Express. Here's your chance to make your voice heard to celebrate the businesses that make Windhoek exceptional. From your favorite coffee spot to the salon that always gets your style just right, it's time to shine a spotlight on the gems of our city. Over the next 8 weeks, it's your chance to vote for your favorites to recognize the best of the best. Nominations open on the 25th of April and close on the 5th of May. To nominate your favorite business, simply save this number, 085-785-6231, and WhatsApp #061Express or scan the QR code below and follow the on-screen instructions. By nominating your favorites, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you also stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. The voting process will be the same as the nominations process, using the Synergy chatbot and the #061Express. Voting opens on June 5th and closes on June 23rd. Make sure to cast your vote for the best of the best. The winners will be announced on June 28th. 061 Express, celebrating the heartbeat of Windhoek. Get ready to make your mark.
In economic news tonight, the effects of the widespread El Nino-linked drought on agricultural production in 2024, particularly regarding primary cereal food staples, is a key upside risk to food inflation in the coming months in Southern Africa. According to the Food Price Monitoring and Analysis report issued by the Food and Agriculture Organization, prices of white maize, which amount for about 1/5 of the average person calorie intake in Southern Africa, were already at a record or near record highs in several countries. Retail prices of rice have also been increasing in previous months, reflecting higher year-on-year prices on the international market, considering the net importing status of the sub-region. It is said that in the the net zero importing countries of Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, and Namibia, retail prices of maize meal remained mostly stable in March. However, with the high prices in South Africa, the country's main source of grain supplies, it may exert upward pressure in the coming months. In South Africa, the wholesale price of white maize grain reached an all-time high in April this year as the drought sharply cut harvest expectation of the 2024 crop, while white maize output is forecast to drop by about 20% compared to the previous 5-year average. The Namibia Agronomic Board has projected a total harvest of 32,394 tons of white maize, including the Zambezi region's white maize, for the upcoming 2024 marketing season in Namibia. This harvest is expected to be marketed to register millers and silos across the country. It said that given the anticipated shortfall in meeting the domestic demand of 180,000 tons, with local harvest alone, the border will remain open for the importation of white maize during the 2024 marketing season. While the report said global wheat export prices stabilized in April this year after declining for 3 consecutive months, while maize prices increased month on month, international rice prices declined by 1.8% in April, largely due to harvest pressure. It said that in most countries monitored by FAO, staple food prices remained at historically high levels in March and April this year. In many countries, microeconomic difficulties and high food distribution costs continue to drive elevated prices of both domestically produced and imported food commodities. And now let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 1 cent to 1 British pound, 90 Namibian dollars 78 cents get you 1 euro, and 18 Namibian dollars 22 cents get you 1 US dollar, 2 Namibian dollars 53 cents get you 1 Chinese yuan. 3 commodities have dropped, that is gold with 0.74%, copper with 1.32%, platinum with 1.62%, while Brent crude oil has increased with 0.47%. After the break, we return with international news. Don't go away.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
In international news tonight, Tunisia's lawyers began a one-day nationwide strike on Thursday, with hundreds taking to the streets of the capital to protest against the recent arrest of 2 of their colleagues, one of whom they say was tortured during his detention. This is the second time this week Tunisian lawyers have staged a strike amid an escalation of the political crisis in the country following the arrest of 2 lawyers and 2 journalists last week in separate incidents. Hundreds of opponents of President Kais Saied protested last week, demanding a date for free and fair election. Saied, whose term ends this year, took over most state powers and shut down the elected parliament in 2021 in a move the opposition called a coup. Tunisian police stormed Opens New Tab, the Bar Association headquarters, on Monday, Monday for the second time in 2 days and arrested Madi Zagroba, who has criticized the president after detaining Sonia Damini, another lawyer, over the weekend. Some opposition parties describe the storming of the Deanship of Lawyers building as a shock and major escalation. The Bar Association and human rights group said that Zagroba was tortured during his detention and that he was suffering from severe bruises and traces of violence. The Interior Ministry strongly denied the allegation and said that the lawyer was not subjected to any ill treatment or torture. Moving over to our next story, Georgia faced a blizzard of international condemnation Wednesday as the EU, NATO, and UN slammed the adoption of a controversial foreign influence law targeting overseas funded NGOs. Ruling party lawmakers voted through the legislation Tuesday in defiance of protesters worried that the Caucasus country is shifting away from its pro-Western course towards Russia. The move was divisive in the ex-Soviet Republic, where, according to opinion polls, most of the population wants to join the European Union and NATO and is staunchly anti-Kremlin. The adoption of this law negatively impacts Georgia's progress on the EU path. EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell said in a joint statement with the European Commission, "We urge the Georgian authorities to withdraw the law." The EU statement reiterated condemnation for intimidation, threats, and physical assault on civil society representatives, political leaders, and journalists during demonstration against the law. A spokesperson of the NATO military alliance said the law was a step in the wrong direction away from European and Euro-Atlantic integration. UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk said in a statement he deeply regrets Georgia's adoption of the law. Authorities and lawmakers have chosen to disregard the many warnings by human rights defenders and civil society organizations, Turk said. The flurry of criticism came after the United States on Tuesday warned the Kremlin-style law would hit Washington ties with Georgia if it was not withdrawn. Georgian President Salome, who is at the loggerheads with the government, has vowed to veto the law, though the ruling Georgian Dream Party has enough lawmakers in parliament to override her veto. The bill requires NGOs and media outlets that receive more than 20% of their funding from abroad to register as bodies pursuing interest of a foreign power. Critics says it mirrors repressive Russian legislation used to silence dissent, in a symbol of the ex-Soviet republic's drift closer to Russia's orbit in recent years. In our final story, divisions within Israeli war cabinet over the lack of post-war plans for Gaza Strip have erupted in a rare public row, with Defense Minister Yoav Gallant saying the country should not be involved in ruling the besieged and bombarded territory once the fighting ends. On Wednesday, Gallant said he was opposed to the Israeli military control or taking responsibility of the governance of Gaza. "I will not agree to the establishment of Israeli military rule in Gaza. Israel must not establish civilian rule in Gaza," he told a news conference. Since the current conflict started in October, Gallant said he had been raising this issue consistently in the cabinet and have received no response, rebuking Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and calling on him to make a decision. Netanyahu, who has indicated Israel intends to maintain open-ended control over security affairs in the enclave, responded to Garland's call, saying he was not prepared to exchange Hamstana for Fastan. He has previously said that talking about the day after the war was not a point because the conflict would not end until there is complete defeat of the Hamas, the group that has been running Gaza since 2007. Benny Gantz, another war cabinet member, came out in support of Garland, saying he spoke the truth and that it was the leadership's responsibility to do the right thing for the country at all costs. Now let's have a look at the weather predictions for tomorrow. Hunters by Katima Mulilo can expect a minimum of 11 degrees, Rundu as well, and Enana as well as Windhoek. They can all expect a minimum of 11 degrees, while Otjiwarongo can expect a minimum of 12 degrees, Omaruru 14 degrees. Oshakati and Rakana can expect a minimum of 13 degrees. Henties Bay can expect a maximum of 35 degrees, Swakopmund 26 degrees, Henties Bay 34 degrees, while Rehoboth can also expect a maximum of 26 degrees. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on all NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, which is called oneup2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. Please don't end your day without us. Good night.